It is the season one finale of the Dugout podcast, and everybody is having a good day here today. It's 3 p.m. Eastern time on the 28th of September 2023, and this is it, the season one finale. And for those hockey fans just right around the corner will be the Hockey Puckers, and which will actually be airing Mondays at 10 p.m. Eastern, and you guys will still get the Let's Talk Football show Wednesdays at 7:30 p.m. Eastern. So it's the week before Thursday Night Football the next day. Today I'm here with Eric Luna.
Hello.
Today I'm here with Joey Casey.
Hello.
What's up, guys? It's nice to have you finally at the end of the day.
And Chase the Kenny right here.
Yeah, the lonely Mets guy, the lonely National Leaguer.
We're all lonely. I don't know what Chester is.
We are so lonely.
Well, the Astros are now American League too, there, David. So.
Hey, where's Chester, the man who's supposed to be here, the only dofos who's going
I'm trying to call him right now on message.
Sure. Doesn't show up to the last show of it to rub it in all of our faces, you know what I mean?
I mean, after last night, I don't think he wants to talk about the Astros. Hector Neris is a moron. Let me go haul my fat carcass over to Julio Rodriguez, who has a better career than I ever will, and start causing problems. It looked like a bowl of pudding trying to run with legs.
Hello in my bowl.
This is what happens.
Yeah, he makes it doesn't look like a brawl. It looks like they're having a convention, like that scene over in Bull Durham.
And this doesn't surprise me that they dropped the Gatorade on the manager. You know, it's not even Gatorade; it's just water.
Yeah, it's just cold water.
Yeah.
If someone gets cold water dumped down their back, they jump about a foot in the air. Dusty can't jump anymore. He's not a ball player. A poor old man ready to whip some ass.
That's it, man.
Hey, if Chester's not here, that's calling out respect, because he's not gonna, roast all of us. So that's called respect,
No, that's not Chester's way of rubbing it in our face. Stay silent till and make us think that he is coming when he really isn't.
No, I think he's being more humble about this than any one of us can be. I'm actually watching the A's game. My buddy's on the mound, and he's doing something that most major leaguers don't even get close to doing. He's appearing in his 50th major league game today, and I'm very impressed because he's a few months older than me. Very talented young man. Oh, that reminds me. I got another baseball, by the way.
Oh.
I didn't get it signed, but I was telling Mr. St. Dennis this. You see that stain there?
Yeah.
Yep.
We're playing catch with that ball. All the little kids are on the guardrail, and none of them have their gloves on. I'm sitting with my sister, and of course, I stick my glove up, and one of the bullpen catchers lobs it to me, and no, I did not drop it. Oh, if I had dropped it, you guys would have been raspberrying me the whole time. Oh, he plays baseball. He couldn't catch a fly ball if he tried.
Well, we did see your wonderful pictures at the Oakland Stadium. So, did you have a good time?
I still love that stadium, especially on that Saturday afternoon. You can't get a more buddy.
Yeah, there you go.
I was gonna say, you scratch my back, I scratch yours.
Yeah, that's it.
But
right now, I have the Arizona White Sox game. That's what I'm open now.
Oh. You know who really came out of the woodwork and surprised me? The Baltimore Orioles. Brandon Hyde.
Yeah.
And everything and all the hell he had to go through. I give him utmost credit in the world for being in the situation he was in and then coming out of it. Not many managers get to come out of absolute hell and then go from the outhouse to the penthouse, as they would say.
Mm-hmm.
They're on their way to a 100-win season.
Oh, yeah.
When a couple of seasons ago, they lost 117 games.
Yeah.
You want to talk about a turnaround. And they didn't need no high-priced talent. They just got kind of like what the A's have now, where they drafted guys. They have good players. But the team I laugh at the most right now is not the Yankees, as much as you think about it. But it's the Giants.
Oh
The
yeah.
Giants had
Oh,
such
yeah.
high expectations.
Yeah.
The Correa incident, the Judge incident with John Heyman, where he said the contract is there. And she's like, there's no contract. What the hell are you talking about? They
What's
could
gonna
have
happen?
spent over $600 million on those two players, if you
You
think
know
about
what,
it.
Julie?
Close to $700 million.
If I'm being honest, I was really bummed out that Corey didn't sign with the Giants because that would have made the Dodgers Giants rivalry more epic.
No. You know who they would have had to gotten rid of, right? Brandon Crawford. And Brandon Crawford
true.
hasn't done a damn thing. He's hitting 197. He's one of the heaviest shortstops in baseball at 225 pounds. I guess the gold gloves really didn't weigh him down.
And
Okay, I wasn't expecting the old rim shot.
No, this is the man with the sound effects, man. You got to watch him, Joey. He's gonna lay some.
Why? I could see David better through Eric's glasses, and that's a compliment.
well, my soundboard is actually on my Windows computer, so I'm not using that one. Sorry. Anyway,
I could do this whole show in Spanish, and Dave would just be like, "What did he say?"
You know, you guys have to take a grain of salt that the Red Sox pretty much fought to stay out of the cellar, but yay, you guys did the job. You kept the Yankees from not going, so you know.
And that's the most beautiful thing in baseball is finding out the Red Sox are not in last place.
No, you guys are like.
Oh wait, never.
Teams,
Nope. I should not have looked.
Not have looked. You dumb nut.
It's just like David going onto his computer after forgetting to shut some stuff down. It's just like, oh wait, I got to close this out.
Yeah, that's it.
Well,
I was looking at baseball. I swear.
Well, my favorite part about this season was, us sweeping the Yankees at Yankee Stadium. That was a beautiful thing because we been struggling in the past. They're going to test this. We've been struggling to lose at Yankee Stadium for a couple of years.
I don't mean to interrupt you, David, but
okay.
What did you guys think about the Yankees fluctuating their attendance the other day?
Oh yeah,
it said there was 41,096 people when there was like 1,000 fans.
Yeah,
I know the A's have had attendance problems, but good God,
maybe they
said it was for everybody who bought a ticket.
Yeah.
Like, but I did heard on MLB Network that they're gonna have those fans who went to that game come to another game next year. So that's what I heard.
There you go. Good compensation,
Yeah.
What was that thing the White Sox were running the other day? They said they were going to give away like $1 infield seats for fan appreciation.
Hey, bring them from the top and put them down behind home plate. If they do,
yeah.
I've seen that a lot of times when they don't have enough of attendance. They'll take everybody from the top tier and bring them down.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. That's called That's like saying they take the four of us, stick us out in front, and turn us into the Atlanta Braves broadcast booth.
I don't even want to hear about the Braves, man.
Oh, that's right. Last night, Acuna, first ever 40-70 season.
Here's the thing about the Braves: if they don't win the World Series, what a slap in the face! All that for nothing.
That's what you're hoping for.
Oh, yeah, they done it last year. Was the same thing. They high expectations, the whole 9 yards. They win the division. They beat us out by the tiebreaker, and then they go on and they can't win. Why? Because the Dodgers again, or whoever.
That's Chester right there, folks. If he's there, he is.
Yes, congratulations, Mr. Astros boss. Took you long enough to get over here.
Sorry about that.
No garbage men needed.
Well, how does it feel to be the only guy on this panel whose team made the playoffs and how does it feel?
Feels great, but still, I don't think they won the. Did they win the lead?
No, they got a wild card. They got a wild card berth, I believe, because it's still. Because the Rangers have I think it's 2 games up on the Astros or the Rangers, and they've won 7 out of their last 8. So a 90-plus win team is only going to be one team this season for the American League West, because the Astros are 2.5 back. The Mariners are probably out of it. They're probably going to get the wild card, but they're out of it because they're 4 back.
They gave it a run for the money this year, the Mariners. The Mariners were the surprise team in the West.
Yeah, last year.
That was insane.
That was a scary situation because we didn't think the Mariners were actually going to put pressure on the Rangers and the Astros at all. It was like they came out of the turnaround season.
Yeah, but we'll see if the guys can make it to playoffs because anything can
Well, that was the thing that happened last year. People forget. Houston went to Seattle and swept them, I believe.
Yeah.
At the Paradise Week.
And then what was it? The Blue Jays? The Blue Jays in the next round? Or did they?
Yeah.
And then the Blue Jays swept somebody or another. I don't remember.
Well,
all I know is they said something else interesting. It's the first time the Yankees, the Red Sox, and the Cardinals have not been involved. I think they said it was one of them.
The Yankees
they haven't been involved in the last 30 years.
Yeah.
In the playoffs for the first time in 30 years.
The Cubs are now. Anybody got any news about the Cubs with the Brewers? Because I know the Brewers did clinch the Central, but did the Cubs get that wild card spot? Because they were really
they're 2 up on the Reds. The Diamondbacks have the first wild card spot. Cubs have the second wild card spot, and they're currently tied with the Marlins. So that one ain't over yet.
No,
not quite yet.
And
there's only 4 games left to play, but I can check the full standings right now.
Cubs have Milwaukee next. Speaking of which,
yeah, the Cubs.
Okay, so the first round bye goes to Baltimore in the American League. Texas is the division leader currently for the West. Twins have the Central, but it's Houston and Toronto for the wild card spots. Tampa Bay's got the top one. Seattle's a 1.5 back, so they really have to play catch up. For National League, it's Milwaukee clinched the Central. Dodgers clinched the West a long time ago, and the Braves clinched the East, and they get the first round bye. So it's Philadelphia, Arizona, and Chicago and Miami right now. The Reds are a 1.5 back with Cardinals coming to town. The Marlins play the Mets, and the Cubs play the Braves. Yeah. The Diamondbacks are up by 2 on everyone else, but there's 4 games left in the season, and a lot can happen with 4 games left because Arizona's playing Chicago. This is like we talked about last week.
Actually, 2-1 Chicago.
So the Chicago White Sox currently control what Arizona could be doing.
Yeah. Yes, Eric?
What? You said, oh, boy. Chicago Cubs. You said White Sox.
Yeah, that's right. That's what I said. Chicago.
Well, the White Sox control what the Diamondbacks do. It's a Chicago team. Who gives a damn which Chicago team it is? Oh, I'm going to go get a beer. I'm going to go get a pretzel.
They play Arizona playing Chicago White Sox? Is that what I'm saying?
Yes.
Oh, okay. All right. Never mind.
Yeah, but here's the difference. The White Sox actually got Michael Jordan to play for him, so the Cubs can have the World Series.
I remember that.
He's got to throw that in for flavoring, you know.
I'm sorry, but that's gold right there for the White Sox.
You're right.
The team that had the one. No, wait. That's even better. The White Sox got Jordan to play for him first, and they won the World Series first. Stop in the womb.
Wait a minute. Was that the year that Frank Thomas was on that team when Jordan was playing?
Yeah, it was.
That's it. That's the only time the White Sox was good. Frank Thomas was playing.
The Big Hurt and
2005. He was hurt.
He was a great player, Frank Thomas, for the White Sox.
Then he played one really good year for a year and a half he played for the A's, and then he went to Toronto. People always talk about that. Griffey going to the White Sox, and the White Sox made the playoffs that year. They had a really weird thing where they've only been to the playoffs like 3 or 4 times in their history. They won the World Series in 2017, and then they didn't win another one until 2005. So the Red Sox and the White Sox, you got the red hose and the ale hose.
The White Sox fans.
I got a joke somewhere, but I'm not going to do it.
No, we're going to get pulled off Hey, you think my jokes are bad? Eric's are gonna get us pulled off the air.
That's why I'm not saying a word. That's why I'm not saying not much.
It's enough shenanigans enough, man. You got
Eric.
please,
Eric is our version of Don Rickles. Okay.
There you go.
Oh my God. Yeah, hockey puck.
I'll be right back. I gotta go let my dog in.
All right, go ahead.
Let the dogs out, Eric.
Come on, booby. Come on in.
All right, let's get to the news right here. We're starting with the injuries. The Braves have placed Max Fried on the 50
Who cares?
What the fuck?
The Braves made it, and now they got a 40-70 guy. Here's the problem. Just because they made the playoffs doesn't mean a damn thing. If you don't win another ring and you don't get Acuna a ring because they didn't give him a ring in 19, why does that matter?
21.
Yeah.
You said 1921, the Braves are
whatever year. I'm human. I can screw up. Shut up.
That's right. He's human. He's got part robot, part flesh,
Yeah, but no, it doesn't say on his baseball reference page. No ring. They didn't give him a ring in 21.
That
still boggles me to this day.
Well, he's owed one now, and that's why they got to win this year. If they don't, it's another slap in the face.
Lewis has been placed on the 10-day IL with the left hamstring. Brandon Rao will be out 4 to 6 weeks. Cass said with a fracture in area of kneecap.
He's done for the season then. I mean, if he's going to be out 4 to 6 weeks, come on, you can call it quits for that guy.
Don't really need him that long.
If you're going to be getting hurt toward the end of the season and yet you're going to the playoffs, you've dishonored your team. But then again, anything can happen. Like you said, the last 2 weeks of baseball,
Yeah.
Well, 4 games is a long time for certain teams.
Yeah, definitely.
Martin Cinti Tentra will not pitch again this season, and Mike Trout is done for the 2023 season, which we already knew that since the All-Star break with Mike Trout.
Oh, he should have never came back.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
it's like Rendon. Rendon has been out. Everyone knows about the Rendon situation with the Angels, right?
Yeah.
He hurt his shin back in July. He has not played since.
Mm-hmm.
He has a shin contusion. You know how long a shin contusion takes to heal, right? 2 weeks. He's been out almost 2 months.
Yeah.
They put him on the 60-day IL. He's out for the year. He hates it in Anaheim. He just doesn't want to say it. And they have nothing. They can't unload him either. They backloaded that contract and paid him $245 million. It's one of the worst contracts in history.
How many years?
Right?
For how many years did they?
I think it's like 7 or 8. I'm not sure.
So how many years has he played?
I think he hasn't played the recommended amount of games that players should. Okay. Oh yeah, I think StatHead is having its all access day today, so it's free to use until 9 a.m. Eastern time tomorrow. No account required. But he's been with the Angels 2020 to 2023, so he's been through the first 4 years of his contract. He hasn't played so much as one full season, and he's still getting paid until he turns 36. So he's getting paid $38 million this season to not play at all.
Talk about robbing the cradle, man.
Well, $38.5 million over the next 3 seasons, and that's over $116 million with bonuses if he ever makes another All-Star team.
But he's got endorsements too,
Well, Bartolo Colon did not make that much in his. I'm going to keep on bringing him up because Bartolo Colon was great. But here's the thing: Bartolo Colon on his best day could beat Anthony Rendon to first base and throw the ball behind his back and still get him out.
Exactly.
Every time I hear the name Bartolo Colon, I cannot help but laugh because he was one of the most entertaining players I've ever seen in Major Leagues.
It's the funniest thing because here's a joke that my buddy who I went to the game with on Saturday and they won.
Julian Tavares.
Yes! Got him! Let's go! 12 pitch at bat. He walks the bases loaded after getting the first 2 outs. 12 pitch strikeout. Let's go.
Joey's on track today.
But yeah, no, my buddy is an older gentleman. He's older than me. He's old enough to be my dad, in fact. But I went to a baseball game with him on Saturday. I got tickets to the game behind home plate thanks to SeatGeek, which shows you what the grades are on the seats and everything. And that's not a sponsor, by the way, but you can get great seats. All the bigger YouTubers have it. But you get great seats, and it grades you from a 10 all the way down to a 1. And I go by prices. $21, no, it was 27 each, I think. 26 or 20, well, it was somewhere in the low 20s. Behind home plate. Second deck gives you some shade. It was $68. Oh, the view was incredible. I got to watch Uriz hit a home run. The guy's 165 pounds, and he hits a 400-foot home run. He threw his back out trying to do it, but still.
You weren't really behind home plate where you can see you on TV. You were like,
no, David. Okay. I make enough money to get myself to and from, but I'm not bailing myself out like that. I would have to have diamonds shoving out of my you-know-what to get behind the home plate seats. You need at least $200 to pass go, my friend.
I was going to ask you, Joey, how's the food in Oakland Park?
Their hot dogs are still fantastic.
Oh, God, that's funny.
I think I almost killed Eric with that one.
Yeah, I think he didn't fall out of his chair.
No, the day I make him fall out of his chair and all you see is his legs up in the air. It's just like, damn it, you put me on my chair.
Yeah, man. You put you out of your chair.
Gary's got falling out of his chair.
No. One time I fell out of my chair and David he didn't laugh. He's just like, are you okay? And I'm like, David, if I'm okay, my neck hurts.
If he gets you off the bed, Joey, that'll be the day. Like if you laugh off the bed, there you go.
No, if I laugh off the bed, then show's over. You can't top it.
All right, the accomplishments here. Brewers, Siggy Santana has 300 home runs in his career. Dodgers, Clayton Kershaw passed on Drysdale for second most all-time wins in franchise history.
I think he's going to get the franchise record at some point. They almost let him go to Texas this past offseason.
Yeah.
Can you imagine that if he got injured too? You had Scherzer, you had Verlander, and you had Kershaw. And that's the part that's even funnier. No Kershaw. They didn't get Kershaw. They had Verlander. No, Verlander went to the Astros. You had Scherzer get hurt. You have DeGrom get hurt. They're going to the playoffs.
And they also have.
Oh, Lordy, that's gone.
And also,
he hit that one over the dock.
Also, Joey Evaldi too, making the Baldy for Rangers.
Evaldi, oh my God. He's been around for the longest time. He all Boston. I'm surprised Houston didn't go get him, honestly. Nathan Evaldi is one of the greatest pitchers to not have like 100 wins in his career. I don't even think he's got that many. But one of the best pitchers that I know of, because I think he was a better pitcher than Porcello when you guys had both of them. Yeah, no, he's in his 13th season. He's pitching for the Rangers, 12-4. That's his second highest win total of all the seasons. He went 14-3 with the Yankees 8 years ago. He had one 10-win season besides that with the Yankees, and that was with the Red Sox 2 years ago. He was fourth in Cy Young voting that year.
He's a fun player.
Why do you let him go? I get he's a little bit injury prone, but you keep Porcello? Porcello sucked. And I think he pitched for the Mets, too.
Oh, yes, rub it in, Joey. Thanks.
Strike three.
Throw one in for me, man. I'm just chopping on peanut butter bread. Yes.
Hey, the one who's exempt right now is the one who's sitting next to me, okay? You three are on trial right now. I'm not hurting the Red Sox any. If you want to know something that's good for the Red Sox, Tito Francona. Tito Francona is going to retire.
Yep.
after everything he did for the Red Sox with them idiots. Hey, that was a Kevin Millar saying.
Yep.
Kevin Millar called the Red Sox idiots. Them idiots.
Yep.
And that's how that worked out. But
and that's why when people call me an idiot, I say, hey, people call me an idiot. I would say, hey, it took 25 of them to break a curse. There you go.
Yeah, it took 25 of them to break the curse. That's right. But people forget that Kevin Millar started that rally in Game 4.
Yep.
He walks. Dave Roberts is safe by an eyelash at second base. But people forget there was 2 outs in that 9th inning.
Mm-hmm.
Dave Roberts could have ended the series if he's out.
Yeah.
That's why it's called what's it called? That's why it's called luck.
Yeah.
Baseball and luck. Dave Roberts is a manager right now with 2 World Series rings for a reason. Because he got lucky at second base like certain people do, but that's another story.
Right.
And next we have.
Okay, that one fell flat. I apologize.
And next,
apologize for that. Welcome, Buddy R, to the live chat. Buddy R, how you doing? Welcome.
We also have the Godfather in here today.
And the Godfather, what's going on? Pimping ain't easy for you, I bet.
Yeah.
And next, Dodgers Mookie Betts has driven 105 runs this season, the most ever in a single season from a leadoff hitter. And the Braves are the first team to get 100 wins and also clears the best record in the NL.
Yeah, they got the best record, but that doesn't mean they're going to make anywhere headway in the playoffs.
We all said that
first round bye.
Yeah.
The Orioles have the first round bye. The Orioles haven't been to the playoffs since 2016.
I thought it was 2014.
16.
7 years.
Yeah, no. And they've been good. So the fact of the matter is, I don't put out World Series predictions for a reason.
Mm-hmm.
Know why? Philadelphia and the Astros were the 2 teams last year. You can't predict a World Series or a Super Bowl or whatever. It's like Berman doing the Niners and the Bills 4 straight years back in the 90s, and then the Bills go to 4 straight and lose all of them.
Yep.
Yeah.
Don't tell Gary I said that. He's going to come after me with that freaking plank of wood.
Tough guy.
Cardinals, Adam Wainwright has thrown the final pitch of his 2023 season through 7 scoreless innings in his final start on September 18th, and in his career with 200 strikeouts. That is a beautiful thing.
Yay! And he's retiring at the age of what, 38?
Yeah, somewhere around there. I mean, I watched that performance. Adam Wainwright with getting his total strikeout, 7 scoreless innings. That was very impressive. I was very proud of him.
So my question for you guys is: do you really think Votto's going to retire this season?
Well, how old is this dude?
He's 40.
He needs to retire then. They don't make it past 40 half the time.
Hey,
I know Kevin Henry
I got 3 good examples for you.
Yeah.
Jamie Moyer is 1.
Yeah.
Randy Johnson is 2.
Well, Johnson's, yeah.
Julio Franco. You should know specifically, Jason, about Julio Franco. Because when he last played in a major league game, he was 49 years old, and he played for the Mets.
Yep.
His last home run was hit against who? Randy Johnson. Oldest man to ever hit a pinch hit home run. Oldest player to ever hit a home run at 49.
Yep.
Well,
don't get me started on Minnie Minoso either. 56 years old trying to pick up a bat.
Yeah, I mean, if these guys are going to play into their 40s, they're going to be DHs for the rest of the time until they decide.
That's the other thing too about the National League with the DH. I think with that benefit,
they extended a bunch of careers.
Exactly. Yeah.
Greatest final season, and I don't know if you guys agree with me. Greatest final season as a DH. David
Oh.
Ortiz, 27-20.
Okay. Yeah.
I think he had one of the greatest final farewells. The
Yes.
worst, Wainwright this year.
Yeah, I agree.
Wainwright stuck around too long trying to get his 200th win.
That was the
Wakefield,
back.
Tim Wakefield, 200 wins. He ended up leaving. Burley had 200 wins. He ended up leaving.
Hey, who was the guy in the Cardinals that stuck around for a long time? That just retired, I think, either last year or the year before.
Molina.
Pujols?
Not Molina. No, not Molina. Pujols.
Yeah.
Albert Pujols.
You guys have a 100-home run at the very end.
Well, that's the thing, though. Pujols got his fountain of youth, and it wasn't a needle in his ass.
But he
actually hit some homers, so there you go.
He like Sheffield and the other guy from Seattle. Yeah.
Well, Sheffield ended up with 509.
Yeah.
Oh, I talked about Ken Griffey Jr. Jason.
Ken Griffey, yeah. I'm so bad with names, but you know who I'm talking about from Seattle, Ken Griffey. I mean, he goes anywhere, he's great.
Yeah.
No matter if he has a Seattle uniform on or not, it don't matter.
Yeah, he played both for the Mariners and the Reds. And next up, the Braves are the third team to hit 3 home runs in the season. Mets coaching Santa
Cody Isenga
has 200 strikeouts. I mean, not 200. Wait a minute. Yeah, 200 strikeouts this season.
Yeah, he's going to be our ace next year because right now he's the only guy who's decent.
Yeah. But with the other pitchers, Brennan Intersearch are still going to pay for them. That's
Yeah.
What the? Anyway.
Who's that?
And Ronald Acuna Jr. is the founding member of the 40-70 Club.
Mm-hmm.
Now for the transaction status call-ups. Rays calling up top prospect fielder Junior Caminario. Yeah, I wonder why they need to do that. And in other news, a Philly fan tried to came into a game a few nights ago with what they said was a service animal alligator. Yes, an alligator.
Oh, I saw that. I was like,
Yes.
what? You consider an alligator a service animal? I'm
Heard about
sorry.
that.
Dogs are fine. Cats
Florida
are fine.
man has made his way to Philadelphia.
Did you see that?
And I was just like, sorry to interrupt, and I was just like,
I'm like, an alligator is a service. How can a alligator be a service animal? That's one. You got to have some extra super duper extra
They're very
talent to train an alligator to be a service animal.
They're very trainable. You just got to make sure you feed them enough times, otherwise they're going to eat you.
and I was
happen.
when I saw that, and I was just like, who tried to, going to the stadium, got denied for it. I was just like,
alligator.
Eric, if they can bring octopuses in Detroit to the Red Wings hockey game and throw them on the ice and delay the game by 45 minutes, then they can bring an alligator into the freaking.
Well, you want emotional support octopus now? Is that it? How about this? Emotional
That's
support
crazy.
crab. Let's go. I mean, come on.
Don't
Or
crab,
lobster.
you know?
Don't cook my lobsters. An emotional support animal, and the lobster eats you by your ear. It's stupid,
I was gonna say if there were, I was thinking when I saw the news about the alligator, I was just like, is this gonna be another curse like the Cubs did with the goat?
Right, yeah.
Ooh, that could be the curse of the gator.
Yeah.
And the Phillies, that will be something.
The Billy Goat and the Gambino. Yep, the Bambino.
Oh my, the Bambino.
A World Series champion with the Nationals from 2019, Sean Doolittle has announced his retirement for baseball. Congrats to him. And that is it for the MLB news here.
Oh, God, I'm glad we got over that. Oh, man, that was a lot.
Well, that's what happens in the last week of the regular season.
Alligator.
And
I still can't get over it. I still can't get over it. That is wild.
Next is the MLB playoffs next week. We are going to start. Well, I don't know if we still are reports. I guess it could. I will start with Joey.
Here we go. Your last report of the year, bro. What do you got to say for yourself?
48 and 110. 48 and 110.
You might want to use that for a phone number, 48 out of 110.
That bird wasn't for you. That was for the guy in the red shirt.
Oh, you mean him?
Yeah, he started dancing with his arms going around like he's a helicopter.
Hey, at least it wasn't the goose.
No, I don't do the double bird. Unfortunately, that costs money.
All right, continue.
But yeah, no, just looking at the baseball reference page, the A's were supposed to finish right now 47 and 111.
Well, there you go.
So that was Pythagorean, though. I think about how many players they've lost. Like Laureano went to Cleveland because they didn't want him anymore. He hasn't done much better for Cleveland, anyways. He's actually hitting 248 with 333 on base, 338 on base in 38 games. Then you got guys like Aguilar, who didn't work out. Manny Pena acquired in the Braves trade, didn't work out. But there was some fascinating players that did. Like you got Joe Boyle, who pitched on Saturday, is phenomenal. Mason Miller's very good. Joey Estes, who pitched great last night. Waldachuk's come around. Danny Jimenez. Urseg's been pitching well. He hasn't given up a run in his last 15 outings. Medina had a good outing today, but he gave up the tying run. Muller, I want nothing to do with, though. He can go back to Atlanta. He has not been a very good pitcher at all. I can tell you his stats right now because I'm looking at it.
Yeah. I was just going to ask you what kind of a record he finished with.
He has a 1-5 record.
Oh, Christ.
Wow.
He only pitched 6 times the whole season?
No. 20 games pitched in 13 starts, 7.34 ERA.
And he was
his whip. Yeah, they traded for him. He's 25 years old. His whip is 193. Walks, hitting, innings pitched.
What about his is he a reliever or a starter?
He's a swing man. His WAR is negative 1.1. He's worse than Fujinami was.
Wow. So
and I can even check on Fujinami right now, too. Okay. Yeah, no, Fujinami is 2-0 with a 4.88 ERA in 28 games with the Orioles. His ERA is exactly half of what it was in Oakland. Overall, his ERA is at 7.25. But other than that, the A's have a lot of prospects set to prosper. Miller, Estes, Waldachuk, Boyle, Sears is probably going to be in the rotation. Very young rotation, supposed to be very good. Geloff is supposed to be good. Soderstrom, he is supposed to be fantastic when he finally gets his legs underneath him. He's only 21, so same with Estes. But Geloff's supposed to be good. Nick Allen's supposed to be a great fielding shortstop. First base, Ryan Noda, 27 years old, Rule 5 pick, 16 home runs this season, walks a lot. He struck out over 150 times, but good eye at the plate. Langlear's back there. Ruiz, Rooker, and Blade in left field. It's a complete team. It's just that the stupid part of it all is owner does not want to pay for a bitter team.
Yeah.
And that was the thing I was going to wrap up with. They are going to have a vote November for the relocation of the A's.
Oh, so
they need 75% for it to pass. 75% of the owners have to say yes, but they don't even have the ballpark blueprint yet. They're trying to rush this.
For what?
That's why the A's are going to stay.
I mean, if you're going to go to Vegas, then you got to start building now.
Well, they're going to do it in the triple A ballpark there.
Oh, okay.
And well, that's why I find it hard to believe that he's going to try and get him out of there. He's not going to let him.
And maybe the following year in 2025 they might.
Well, they have to stay for next year, or if they leave, they owe the city of Oakland $30 million.
And now they
for
work.
breaking lease.
Yeah.
Also, what day in November?
December 2024 is when the lease expires. I don't know when in November the vote is.
So here's the thing: they can vote it, get the stadium built, ready, and leave on 2024 and go in 2025. I mean, that'd be a smart move.
Actually, if they aren't allowed to leave, I don't think they can bring it up again.
Uh-oh.
So the owner, who's worth almost $7 billion in money, lost, just like in Major League. Imagine that. The movie based on a true story all of a sudden.
Yeah.
34 years in the making. Except it wasn't the Guardians this time. It was the A's.
Yeah.
I love that movie to death. I did not think the A's would have to deal with this.
But they do.
And a nice new microphone, Jason.
Oh, yeah. This is... I had taken the cover off of one of my the older mics. So...
Jason, if you ever speak in front of a crowd, ask for a mic check.
Check 1, check 2, check 3.
No. For a mic check. Check and see how many mics are in the crowd.
Well, we don't have any mics in this crowd, unfortunately. We got
No.
a David and Eric, Lisa, Joey, and a Chester. That's it.
Well, technically, he's the jester, not the Chester.
Oh.
Well, you got Joker's Wild up here at the top anyway, so we're good.
That's right. And the show's doing fantastic in its new season.
Well, that's the funny part. Eric's the Joker, you're the jester, and David, he's just the one in the clown costume.
No.
Oh, wait. I know what will make Ben mad. If David dresses up as Barney for Halloween.
Oh my god. Yes.
Anything can happen on the season finale of the Dugout Crew. And hey, I'm promoting you guys every week on DMS 3000 News Live. So
if we reach 100 views, that'd be impressive. But it's hard because we're...
I looked at the views over the course of the first 27 shows, and we barely hit 30 on each one. I don't know if we promoted it.
Hey, look at both of us. You gotta say more.
Oh, well, Bofus is always going to outdo everybody because they've been on longer than any even Rant and Rave. So, for that matter.
5 years.
5 years. So,
and that's 50 episodes a year that they've done. We've only done 27.
And it's our first season. And our first season. So, and I haven't even been on for most of the season because I'm just so depressed with what happened.
Yeah. Well, I work, Eric works, Jesse works, David sits at home.
I work in the morning though, and I usually.
I need a mic check, please. Thank you very much.
I laugh because it makes me think of Gary's dad, and Gary's dad would take the microphone and he'd walk into the other room. It's just like, no more mic time for you. Give me that.
That's it. No, it ain't mic time. It's Miller time.
All right, Jason. Go to your report.
Oh, well, hey, first of all, thanks for a semi-great season for us Mets fans out there that are going to finish probably either like 76 and 80, 88 maybe, or 89. I don't know. We'll probably get 75 games minimum, considering we had to play the Phillies the last 4 games of the season. And I'll tell you, Pete Alonso, there should be no thought to this, man. Re-sign the guy. They're talking trade rumors like, please, really? We're going to send him off somewhere else. The dude wants to stay in New York like David Wright wanted to stay in New York all that time. David Wright stayed in New York for 20 years. Pete Alonso wants the same kind of a thing. So, negotiate a contract. What the hell's wrong with you guys? You know?
Pardon my language, but he needs to hit his goddamn weight first.
Dude, he just hit 46 home runs this year. I don't know.
You know who he reminds me of with his average the way it is?
Yeah.
Not Balboni. Balboni's in Kansas City. He reminds me of Kingman.
Okay.
Dave Kingman. He couldn't hit his weight, but he would hit a lot of home runs.
Yeah.
Because if he hits 4 home runs, he's gonna have his second 50 home run season of his young career already.
And it's
And
not
he's
all.
at
Yeah, I know.
he's 8 away from 200, and he's only 28.
Well, and I think the way that they're looking at for the Mets next year is Kodai Senga as our ace, and I think David Peterson's coming back. Tyler McGill, I don't know what's going on with that doofus, but I don't know. Pitching wise is going to be the thing that really the Mets need to look at. They really need to look at and say, what are we going to do? We need a rotation. We have a good starter, Kodai Senga, possibly David Peterson. Do you go for Otani? I don't think so.
No, you don't need. I'm not saying this just to be mean, but the Mets don't need Otani. The asking price is going to shoot down because the dude's not playing the rest of the season. He's going to win MVP, but where does the price tag remain in that situation? The guy's
Plus, he
going to
wants
need
to be on
Tommy
a
John surgery.
Yeah, but the guy also wants to be on a winning team. Also, why does he want to go to? Why would the Mets want him, knowing that they can't do anything with their own players? We've got good players. We just need to start winning games. That's the thing.
Well, imagine this. The Red Sox get Otani and Yoshida and him go take off.
Not gonna happen.
Unfortunately, you couldn't have them in the same outfield. Can you imagine if they don't speak the same language? Can you imagine the language barrier that butt heads?
Yeah. That's true. You're
Otani in center field. You have to move Duran to right, or Duran would play right field because Otani could play right field.
Mhm.
Best outfield in the American League would be Otani, Yoshida, and Duran.
I'm saying this. Otani is not coming to Boston. I don't think that's going to happen. That's just my honest opinion.
I guess he's worth a lot of money for somebody for some team to pick him up because they're gonna have a salary cap.
Plus, what's the new GM going to do?
Yeah, that's true.
Is that it for the Mets support?
Yeah, I just think as for dismal, I hope our team will turn around next year and really start looking at some good players to kind of come in here because we really need something to go with. Yeah, we're going to finish over 70 plus wins. You take a grain of salt with that, but I looked at some of the games, quality, but you could tell when they wanted to play and when they didn't want to play. I was looking at the last months, just the highlights, not watching the games, but yeah, they just didn't have the heart this year. And that's sad. So hopefully take time off, come back in spring training, get your heads together, get your team together, and let's go win a championship next year. Thanks for the report, man. Thanks for having me.
Yep. Chester.
Well, the Astros managed to win 2 games in that Mariners series after getting whooped 5-1. But the one thing I want to talk about is that brawl that happened in the game after Hector Neris. Yeah, that shit was insane. Excuse my language. I just saw like what happened. Hector Neris shouted some derogatory things to the batter to Rodriguez. And yeah, the bench is cleared, and I was like, I was thinking to myself, he must have called him the P word in Spanish. and
good night. That's it.
Wow.
It's rare you see Astros brawl. When they do, it's something.
I don't know what the history was between those two. No?
Well, it's always emotions are always high during an Astros and Mariners game,
Yeah, especially during this type of season. But hey, who knows what happens with the Mariners going forward? Same with the Astros and all that. All right, is that it?
Yeah, that's pretty much it.
All right, Eric.
Well, we wish you the best of luck in the playoffs. Your team, that is.
Yep.
No, we know you'll be watching beyond September. So,
Yep. All right, Eric.
All right, the Red Sox lost 2 straight games to Tampa. Tampa Bay's always been one of the toughest teams. One thing I know about the American League East this year, like I said, it did a 180. Usually, Red Sox, Yankees fight for the top spot. In Toronto's usually in the middle, then Baltimore and Tampa Bay at the bottom. But this year, I'll tell you what a turnaround! I believe I got to give the Rays a lot of credit. They have a lot of good players, very young players, and mix it up with veterans. I think Tampa Bay could go far, but then we get Baltimore. Same thing with them, But as far as the Red Sox go, we have 4 more games left against Baltimore. I know we're going to end up we're end up in last place, which probably the third time this happened since.
Since 2020.
Yeah, since 2020, and obviously since the pandemic had happened, 2020 happened, everything went downhill for all our New England teams.
Well, I agree with what Eric says. The pandemic hit a lot of teams hard, but and I'm not trying to make this about the A's, but
yeah,
ever since the pandemic happened, teams have been struggling to get attendance. Every team has been good with it or has been horrible with it.
Despite the posts out there, they're saying the attendance has been upgrade more this year because of
the thing I've noticed is teams have to be ownership and front offices have to feel good teams for teams to want to be there.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's why
I'm saying this from the bottom of my heart. If you aren't fielding a good team, because yes, I went and saw 4 baseball games, 4 A's games this year.
I only went to 3 Red Sox games.
But that's the thing. I'm paying good damn money to watch a team that's lost 110 games. Am I upset? Yeah. I was out there 2 days last week chanting, sell the team, sell the team, sell the team. And you know why? You want to know why? If I was the Red Sox and I saw how well they were doing despite the record, I'd be happier. The A's are, well, I don't want to say anything yet. It's the bottom of the 9th inning, but still, the A's are.
You don't want to jinx the game. Don't do that.
Well, quite literally, you've heard of the term clinging. You've heard of the term clinging. Who the hell's that now? Benji Banjo.
Yeah.
I didn't do anything. I did not.
Have David dress as Barney for Halloween.
You want to brought up the thing about the alligator, Joey. So yeah, he's going to call you an alligator.
So anyways, let me continue on about the Red Sox report.
Yeah.
The Red Sox, I thought Red Sox could make heads and tails of the season, make headway, and we were doing that. I think ever since Adam Duvall got injured, I think the Red Sox are struggling to try to find their identity in the lineup. The Yoshida, I don't know if he's going to win the Rookie of the Year. I'd be surprised if he did, but he probably finish in the top 5 voting for that for American League Rookie of the Year. Like I said, Duvall, we don't know if this is going to be Justin Turner's last year with the Red Sox, one and only year, because Justin Turner really provided with some great moments. And the rotation, I'll tell you what, pitching is what would really, really hurt the Red Sox. A lot of injuries have been happening. Chris Sale was coming back from Tommy John surgery. He has not been the same since. But like a lot of it fell on the shoulders of Brian Bayo. And I think that's I'll tell you one thing, a lot of pressure is on that young man. And he tried to do the best he could, But like I say, Adam Duvall, I'm hoping he comes back to the Red Sox. I hope Justin Turner comes back too. Because our offense, we lose those two. You're talking about the offense could be wiped out. Tristan Casas was coming into his own until he was shut down for the season because of his shoulder. So that's something to. So that's a lot of young players are having a lot of injuries have happened that really and a lot of errors have been made. Our defense was
100.
Yeah, 100. And Trevor's story, he wasn't the same since he came back from the injury and all that. Hopefully he'll get it together. There was a lot of stuff going on with him in the off season. Now, having he was a baby being born and all that. Well, I think also, remember the WBC happened earlier this year, so it affected a lot of players, not just the Red Sox and all. And that could be one of the reasons why we've seen a lot of injuries happen. And like I said, I don't know why they want to put the WBC every 4 years or whatever they want to do it. but it's going to cause a lot of injuries. But going back to Boston, we're going to see a whole different. We don't know who the new GM is going to be. We know Chaim Bloom is out. That is for sure. But knowing that Sedan Raffaella is going to have another seasoning. He made a couple. We had the Red Sox had one of the games won against Toronto, and then all of a sudden he misplayed a ball over his head. In Toronto, they end up tying the game. They end up winning it. So
I watched that game. That was
yeah. Kenley Jensen, he was hurt for a while too, and he has not been the same either. So because he had a few blown saves here and there. So the Red Sox got a lot of work to do in the offseason, and whatever the new general manager is, I know the rumor has it they've been looking at one of the other Japanese pitchers, Yoshinobu Yamamoto.
Oh yeah, he's gonna fetch at least a couple hundred.
Yeah,
not a couple hundred as a million, but he's gonna get up to 100 million at least.
Yeah,
I think honestly that if Boston needs another outfielder, they should go after Cody Bellinger because he's on a 1-year contract and the A's win the ball game.
Hey, there you go. See, you didn't.
One of 49 wins this season. Yikes.
Yeah. Anyways,
50, are you going to hit 50 or no? You don't think you're going to hit 50?
there's a chance.
There's a chance.
Go ahead, Eric. I'm sorry for interrupting. Go ahead. Go ahead.
And as far as having an outfielder, as far as outfielders are concerned and all that, we'll see what kind of offense. We need pitching as well. Red Sox need pitching and offense, obviously. As far as Ohtani coming to Boston, I don't know. I don't think they're going to. If Ohtani, I'd be shocked if they did get Ohtani, but I highly doubt the Red Sox will. Even though they've shelled out, because they just shelled out for over $300 million to retain Rafael Devers' services. So, So I don't know if they're going to. Well, depends on the new general manager, whoever that may be. Depends on how that general manager will play everything out. We're just going to have to wait and see what that situation. I know there's a lot of there's some reports saying that Ohtani likes Boston, likes the history and all that, but we don't know. We don't know. I love Ohtani. I like Ohtani. He's one of my favorite players outside the Red Sox. I mean, so whatever happens there, like the Red Sox got a lot of work to do in the offseason, obviously. And like I said, Baltimore and Tampa Bay have been tough on Boston this year. And that's something, you would think the Red Sox will end up playing spoiler for either one of those teams. Nope, that will not be the case. So, because I'll tell you one thing, like I said, Baltimore got mixed crop of players and good players. Don't know if they're going to win the World Series or not, but like I said, it's going to be anybody's ball game at this rate. So, but as far as the Red Sox is concerned, yeah, very disappointing season. Not the season they want to go. If Duvall and Turner want to come back and help out the Red Sox, say, hey, we can turn this thing around. Great, I'd like to have them, but like I said, off season would have to go for Red Sox. We'll have to wait and see in the off season what they're going to deal with. So, and if anybody wants to know what goes on, if I find anything about the Red Sox, I have my big beat for East Boston sports beat. When I do it, I talk about not just the Red Sox, but the Patriots. I got to talk about their first 3 games of the season, whatnot. But like I said, it's going to be only a matter of time for Boston. Like I said, this will be the 5th anniversary of the Red Sox winning their last World Series in 2018, in which they had the best record in baseball at the time. And they had all the good. I think ever since Mookie Betts basically got traded, I think everything went downhill for Boston since. You know what I mean? So losing him, and we lost a lot of players. Jackie Bradley and all that. That's losing most of that crew is homegrown. Most of our homegrown players. We need homegrown players that stepped up to the plate every single time Red Sox won a championship.
By the way, I meant Tom Brady, not Bradley. Tom Brady.
Tom Brady. Well, I said Jackie Bradley, so
yeah, there you
go. I mean, imagine if Tom Brady played for the Red Sox. Your first 2-way player, you got your quarterback playing baseball, and then you're going 2-way. He forgets. It's like he goes up to the plate in his football uniform, and it's just like, wait a minute, this ain't right.
Here's an interesting tidbit. I don't know if you knew this, but Tom Brady was once drafted by the Montreal Expos.
Yep.
And that's exactly right. When he retired this past season, and it's funny to think about, a football player was the last Expo to ever be drafted. And he was drafted, I think, in the 90s. He was drafted in the 90s, and then he goes and plays football in 99, gets drafted and everything.
And
what could have been is insane.
Yeah, that's so. Like I said, we don't know what's going to happen. It depends on who the new general manager is for Boston off season. We'll find out.
And also, Tom Brady never became a Deion Sanders or Bo Jackson. He never wasn't that.
No,
if he's trying to be like Bo Jackson, forget about it. Because Bo Jackson was
no. If he had Bo Jackson's capabilities, forget it.
Yeah,
Tom Brady and oh my God, you'd create a monster. Tom Brady's freaking charisma and everything. Then you got him with Bo Jackson's stature and everything.
Yep,
that is one hell of a man.
Yeah,
he's running up He's running up walls. He's running through end zones. Oh, there goes Giselle. Oh, he's gone.
He hopped over the fence. Oh, he landed in the mud. Oh well,
Oh, I think one of my favorite things, and I don't say this to be mean, but the best thing, and this is saying this because I know Boston has so many championships with him, is when Brady's sitting down, he's got his head and his knees, and it's just like, I wonder what he's thinking about. And up in his head, it says 6 rings. And it reminds me of that commercial where it was the Super Bowl, where it was all the legends going around, and then there was a fumble and everything. He hands Baker Mayfield all of his Super Bowl rings, and he says, "Hey, kid, hold these." and Baker Mayfield hasn't been the same since that commercial. He's been with the Browns. He's been with the Panthers. He's now with the Buccaneers. He's been with the Rams. And he had that one great moment with the Rams. So I'm not saying he was a bad quarterback. It's just that imagine having to replace a man who took that team to the promised land 2 seasons ago.
Hey, at least it wasn't Matt Ryan.
So yeah.
Oh my God, I'm going to throw you. What is wrong with you? Oh my God, David, what is wrong with you?
All right.
He was just asking for it. That's pretty much
Boston,
all.
the bottom line is Boston's got a lot of work to do in the offseason. Great
The
season,
following
Boston.
is a public service announcement from David 3000.
Yankees suck.
This has been a public service announcement from David 3000.
You don't say that this time, though. I mean, for all the times that you put it in and it was not meant, now it can be meant.
Yeah.
In
my personal opinion, the Yankees do suck.
I do have this for you, Eric. I have the free agents that they were ranking.
Mm-hmm.
They have you guys getting Yamato. They have you guys potentially getting Giolito and potentially getting Blake Snell. That would be a huge get for you guys. Hell with Giolito. Giolito is experiencing Syndergaard syndrome right now. Giolito has not been good, and I don't think he'd fit into Boston Park. Blake Snell would be a shot in the arm for the Red Sox because the Red Sox haven't had a really good left-handed pitcher since, well.
Plus, to give if Blake Snell ever comes to Boston, it would give him the ultimate payback on Tampa Bay, especially on Kevin Cash.
Yeah, give him a ring. Give him the thing that Kevin Cash took away from him, a World Series ring.
Yeah, I think Kevin Nash. Kevin Nash. Kevin Nash in a Tampa Bay uniform going, "Give me the ball, kid."
They'd be like this big, hey, big guy.
That would actually scare me if that was a pitcher and it's just like you see this 6'10" mountain of a man. It's just like, whoop.
Well, the only tallest player since that.
Wait, I have a baseball here. Here you go.
It's just like Randy Johnson, as tall as he was, that would be the only thing that could match Kevin Nash. Would be Randy.
Yeah,
Johnson.
or Undertaker. Undertaker was like,
that would, because I faced my buddy in batting practice once. This was before he developed that fastball and everything else that he has now. He threw a knuckleball at one point.
Ooh.
I had to try and catch it.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't wear a cup.
"Ow!"
Yeah.
For you. No kidding.
No.
Joey
Hey,
got shot.
that's why you're giving 2, folks. That's why you're giving 2.
Joey got shot in the cupcake.
But yeah, no. That's the
Ding dong.
problem. It's
Hello.
a knuckleball. It doesn't move. So it went, "Ew." It went like a zigzag, and I'm just, and I wasn't wearing shin guards, so I'm just like, oh, great, I'm going to bloody both knees. It's just like, what happened? You wanted to be a catcher, and it's just like, it's like Euchre said, when Phil and Joe were pitching against each other, his folks were in town, and this was when he was pitching. This is when he was catching. He said, I went back there and saw his folks more times than they did the entire weekend.
Yeah, funny enough, Joey, on my last baseball game, this year at the Blue Sox, I got a game loose ball as well growing up.
That's the wonderful thing about baseball is I almost got the funny thing is I almost got another ball on Saturday. It was a foul ball. It was hit back right towards where I was sitting, and I'm thinking, and I'm not going to say the S word, but I'm like, and I'm looking up there, my gloves on my hand. I see where it's going to land. I'm like, I'm too old. I'm not diving over no seats. Because I saw where it was going to land. It was about 3 seats to my left in the row in front of us.
You would end up.
I would look worse than Jeter did that time.
Oh yeah.
I would have had a black eye. I would have had blood stains all over the front of my nose.
You know what'd be really funny, Harry? You would have been on ESPN's Not So Top 10.
There you go.
Oh no! If that happened, it'd be because I dropped the foul ball.
It'll be on totally.
You know who would have that on this show immediately the day after, on the Thursday after? Him.
Yeah, David. David
would have it in the highlight blooper reel,
Yeah.
He would put that all over Facebook, and I'm just like, I'm going to fly to Boston, and you're going to get it.
He's going to have a head cut out of you going,
No, I don't. Big men don't fly. Big men don't fly. We don't go.
Yeah, Joey. Mike Romy.
Hey, he could bench press you with one finger. You're so light. Just no. I got something even better. This just came into my head. Jason's the PA announcer. Eric's the catcher. Jesse's the pitcher. And David is at bat. Jerome is the first base umpire.
Oh, no.
Now batting for the Canucks.
Nuts.
What happens is they pitch the ball. David says, "Don't throw it too hard." And he throws it as hard as he can, knocks the catcher backwards, and he says, "Ball 1." And they say, "Well, the young man has taken his first ball of the day." And then the next pitch is ball 2. And it's just like, how am I going to pitch to him? He has no strike zone. Then he gets down to first base and he sees a shadow behind him. And he says, he sees a big old hand on his shoulder. He says, "Hey, you're lucky we paid him off."
We now have an umpire's timeout.
And
What
they
you
see
do with
Dave.
that young man? He's giving him a wedgie.
Oh my God.
Oh my God.
I wanted to be a broadcaster. Funnily enough, I wanted to be a broadcaster, but
He's going for
the only
40.
broadcasting
30,
school nearby is up by where Jason is. No, you live in Florida, right, Jason?
No, I used to
I forget. You're a New York fan in Florida. How the hell does that work out? You're Florida man. You're Florida man in orange and blue.
Always will be. I will never be a Miami.
It's better than black and blue, okay? It's better than black and blue. What happened? I went to a Marlins game and a Buccaneers game broke out. Because I have to share this because this happened last Thursday at the game. But this was before the game. This was about 15 minutes before I got that baseball. This crazy old guy. And I knew he was drunk.
Oh, boy.
He's yelling at one of the A's players.
There he goes.
The guy is drunk. He's bare-chested. He's banging his chest. He's at the 30. He's at the 40. They're not gonna get him. Here come the Blue Coats. He's down to the 30. He's down to the 20, and they're gonna nail him at the 17-yard line.
Only John Harlan.
No, Kevin Harlan.
Kevin Harlan. Kevin Harlan.
He's done bowling. He's done football, golf, baseball, basketball. He's the businessman's utility man for freaking sports. Yeah. He makes Joe Buck seem like a joke.
Now from the front of the family, John Holland did game shows, and now.
Wait, speaking of,
we've got enough. Who's got?
Yeah, that's a definite bloodline. If your dad did game shows and then you're doing football games, I'm calling both games.
Uh-oh. You're in trouble now.
Joey.
The corny idea, Joey. You're going to have to deal with this.
Yep.
Yeah, but here's the thing. Paging Ben Wilner. Paging Mr. Ben Wilner.
Oh, no.
The white zone is for loading and unloading.
No, I've got one even better.
What is that?
Hey, I'll do you one better. I'll do him one better.
Oh, no.
Oh, no. Ben, you just started something here.
Oh, shit.
Sting would use.
Oh man! Now I know why Chris Farley was. Always sweating after every sketch. Very visual entertainer, that man.
I was very proud of you trying from the tournament.
Hey, you didn't have enough pine tar on that bat, you know? It wasn't.
Hey, I'm not George Brett. Leave me alone, okay? I tried pine tar one time.
Uh-oh.
And it did not work out. I'm just like, what the hell? It's pine tar and stickum. They're the two worst materials you can ever be around. You go to wipe it off on your jersey. Next thing you know, your hand's stuck to your pants. I feel bad for the guy who gets. But I feel bad for the guy. Imagine getting caught for substances and you weren't even on the mound. You were just using a little bit of pine tar on your bat. You put your bat down by your groinal area, and the bat gets stuck there.
Yeah,
it's just like, honey, can you help me here?
Pick it up.
No, you can't even move. You just see the guy walking to the plate. It's just like the umpire says, "Hey, you can't walk up here with two bats." And he looks down and he says, "What do you mean? I don't have it." Oh, and he goes to pull it off the front of his jersey, and then you just see the front. You just see his jock strap and no uniform anymore. His pants have come off. But no, I tried out the theory one time because I mostly used like practice baseballs like this when I used to play catch with my dad. I always wondered what Vaseline would do to a baseball. And turns out it does do a lot to a baseball when you throw it. Mm-hmm. It does add drop to the ball, and that's why it's one of those banned substances. Uh-huh. But don't tell Gabe Lord Perry that he has a book. He wrote a book on it. Me and the Spitter. He wrote Me and the Spitter while he was still pitching. Because there was a game where he and Reggie Jackson faced off. He threw a thing called the Super Sinker. Yeah. When he was pitching for Seattle. He was pitching for Seattle at the time. This was at the end of his career. And he throws this pitch and it goes shoom, goes from the top of the strike zone all the way down to the bottom of the zone. Reggie struck out and they threw out Reggie Jackson. He got so mad. He stuck his hands in the Gatorade. He said, "Hey, why can't he use this?" I couldn't, because of all the crazy things, it's that and Joe Negro. 1987. Joe Negro is pitching for the Twins.
Mm-hmm.
They are checking him because all the baseballs, like with Mike Scott, Astros legend, and you guys know about Mike Scott and everything. 1986 against the Mets, they're throwing out a bunch of the baseballs because they look like they have scuff marks on them. Years later, he admitted to scuffing the ball. So when he threw that split finger fastball, it's because of all the scuff marks. Like you see here, this ball has scuff marks on it because it's old. Not because I've been rubbing my nails on it. Negro got caught in 87 because of a nail file incident, because he had a nail file in his back pocket. They were checking his uniform and everything. He shoves his hand down the back part of his uniform pocket, but back part of his pants. Out flies a nail file, and he goes to pick it up, and the umpire says, he picks it up, sees it, he says, "You gone."
Yeah, I think he threw it in the back pocket. He was like trying to throw it out to make sure no one sees it, but he was caught with it.
Yeah, no, the umpire was like this with his hand, and then he looked down. His eyes went, whoop. His eyes went faster than probably me or Eric when we see the pizza delivery guy.
Oh, boy.
All right.
Pizza.
Well, that's going to be it for this episode. I want to thank everybody for watching. Thank you all for tuning in to see. This has been a fun ride, and we'll definitely be back here next year for 2024.
Oh, by the way, David, here comes your pizza. That's what
I was thinking
if you ever try and get me again, you're getting a slice of pizza on you.
Oh my God.
That is that moment right there. I'll tell you one thing. You tell Orsillo and Remy, they will still see some of the most mundane and crazy things that happen, and they make a comedy show out of it. It's hilarious.
Well, it's like that time the guy in the stands accidentally grabbed his girlfriend's boob.
Oh,
it was probably on the Jumbotron too, I bet you.
No, it wasn't on the Jumbotron. They got it on television. And the camera just so happened to pan over, and then the guy does it. And then after about a minute and a half of silence, Marquez takes strike one.
Yeah. Oh, man. And Remy could not keep it together.
Yeah.
Well,
it's too bad that Jerry Remy's gone now. He was really a treasure for that Red Sox team and in the broadcast booth. He was one of the best. Him and Eckersley both.
Him and Eck, man. They made Red Sox games worthwhile watching. Even if they lose or win, they were so. Or so I don't know what the heck Nesson management is thinking about letting.
That's the thing. Nesson lost and San Diego's gained it because ever since Orsillo went to San Diego, he's developed that catchphrase. Every time they had a grand slam, they say, "So and so plays and slam Diego."
Yeah,
and it's incredible how. They just let Towan go. That was with the A's when they had Lon Simmons. The A's had Lon Simmons. They had Monty Moore, guys like that. Then they let him go. Lon Simmons would go on to have a long and famous career with the Niners, the A's, and the Giants. I don't think you guys ever knew this. Harry Carey, for one season, announced for the A's. One season. And then he hated Charlie O'Finley so much he left.
Well, he was better off in Chicago anyway. They loved him.
And that's the part that's another story that kind of gets me going is the St. Louis Cardinals had him and Jack Brickhouse. You guys Eric and Jason are probably old enough to know who that is. Jack Brickhouse was the Hall of Fame broadcaster for the Cardinals way back when. He was there before Jack Buck was. Him and Harry Carey worked together for a very long time, and then Jack Brickhouse eventually left. But what happened after the fact was the Cardinals were owned by Anheuser-Busch. That's why it was called Busch Stadium.
Right.
And then they pissed off Harry Carey to the point where at his leaving press conference, and I saw this because I was watching MLB Network, and they showed this on occasion in the offseason about Harry Carey. He had a thing of Schlitz. Schlitz is a competitor beer And he had that at the leaving press conference from the Cardinals. He drank a competitor's beer. That's just who Harry Carey was. If you were going to screw him over, he would do the same right back to you.
Oh, by the way, here in Easter time is 420.
Well, excuse me for not having a blunt to blow up.
And before we end this episode, I want to pay our respects to Brooks Robinson, Mr. Oriole.
Yeah, Mr. Oriole, one of the great. He had the record. Him and Jim Cott were tied for the longest time. Jim Cott was a pitcher who just went in the Hall of Fame last year. But Brooks Robinson, the human vacuum cleaner, not the greatest hitter.
Wow.
16 times a Gold Glover at third base.
In a row.
In a row. You do not see that type of consistency ever now.
Mm.
The next closest was 8, and I think that was Buddy Bell.
Mm.
And he played third base. His son is the manager of the Reds right now, David Bell, who also played third base. He even played under his dad briefly in Cincinnati.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it's a tragedy to know that somebody that was so great at a position for so long. If you think of a great play, that one of the great plays he made, look at the 1970 World Series against the Reds.
That was his series.
When that was Sparky Anderson's team, you had young Johnny Bench in the wings. You had Pete Rose, Concepcion, Cesar Geronimo, Tony Perez, guys like that. He made a play in foul territory at Riverfront Stadium on a ground ball. He's almost in the left field box seats down the line there. He was almost in the stands, and he threw him out by half a step.
That's incredible.
He played in back-to-back World Series. People forget 1969 and 1970.
Mm-hmm.
I think he played in one more World Series after that. He played for so long. He was such a massive part of that franchise. He played his entire career there from 1955 until 1977. He got to play with Frank Robinson. You had Robinson and Robinson in the same lineup for years. He was
not really
what you would call
not related though.
Well, the only thing that was even more incredible was first ballot Hall of Famer, 92% first ballot Hall of Famer.
Yeah.
And he also, besides winning 16 consecutive Gold Gloves, 18 consecutive All-Star appearances.
Yeah.
From 1960 until 1974.
That's a Hall of Famer.
Yeah. And he had one of the lowest averages of a Hall of Famer at 267. He finished 152 hits short of 3,000.
Man.
He has the highest record. Now, he had the major league record until 2006. 97.1% or .971 was the major league record for best fielding percentage ever out of any position. Until 2006. Somebody broke it about 17 years ago. He has the AL record, though. And I hope it forever stands because Manny Machado could not fill his shoes. That's why he's in San Diego right now.
Yeah,
you'll never find another third baseman that was that talented and played for that one team for so long. The only one I can think of that was that good for the Orioles was Ripken because the year that he got inducted into the Hall of Fame was the year that they won the World Series.
Yep.
So
probably Jason and Eric wake up.
Yeah. We're listening to you. It's just like we're just like.
I was gonna say it's story time, and I'm putting them to sleep.
It's the end of the season, so it's kind of like
it's the end of the season. We're trading Eric to the Dodgers for a player to be named later.
I'm going to probably I don't know Kansas City to go.
Yeah, we're sending you to Kansas City for 3 prospects and a bag of peanuts.
There you go. I'm going to Kansas City. Kansas City, here I come.
Hey, at least you'll get some good barbecue out there.
That's right. Wow, I thought Memphis had a pretty good dry rub. For
Well, if anything, somebody has to teach David about ribs because I don't think he's ever had some good ribs in his life.
Well, I'll tell you, hey,
Ribs.
next year on the Dugout Crew, we have to include some food in our reports, because ballparks I've been getting a lot of
hot dogs especially. Hot dogs are always good at the ballpark. Peanuts, Cracker Jacks. What really got me was when I went to that A's game, they have a chicken tender stand. And you get to put
Oh, man, that
whatever
sounds
you
good.
want in there too.
So you dip it with any kind of weird sauces.
Yeah, like mustard, mayonnaise, anything, barbecue sauce. But the chicken tenders, about that big.
Eh.
You get like 15 of them though, and then you get a thing of fries on top. So
Wow.
I can imagine it's like $20, but it says tenders love chickens. That was the name of the thing.
By the way, as for Chase being traded to Kansas City, just watch out for a certain fan base. That's all I'm going to say.
Yeah.
But anyway, that's going to be it for this episode. Thank you all for watching. See you all next year. Bye bye, everybody.
See ya.